Okay.
Are we live?
We're live on my page.
Okay.
Now.
We get to going then.
Got to start sharing places. For some reason, I used to be able to share. There's somebody here. This is going to be a work in progress first couple times, people. Here we go. Okay. Oh, that's Stephanie. That's a friend of mine. Okay. Share to a group. Here we go. So anybody who's in my VIP group is going to start to see this now. Oh my God. Hey, Chris, Kathy, Anne-Marie, Sonia, hi. And filming fragrance. Perfect.
Okay. Nice.
All righty. So, hi everybody who's here. There's already 8 people here. Now, Matt and I are doing this simultaneously. He's doing this on his screen and I'm doing it on my screen. We collaborated. We together came up with this idea of talking about fragrance. He and I are both super duper passionate about home fragrance. And neither one of us are real shy when it comes to talking about how passionate we are about it. Hey, Tim. Hey, Erin. Deanna, Zahara, Bonnie. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mom. My mom's here. Hi, how are you? So we've been talking this is just the brainchild of like only 4 or 5 days old. And I really love the idea of just talking about smellies.
Absolutely. All right. I think I just got my live stream going as well.
Okay.
Go ahead and share that to a couple places.
So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them into the comments. I can totally see the comments right now in real time. We welcome questions and comments from both Scentsy consultants and people who use home fragrance. You might be currently using the dreaded Airwick, Glade, or Febreze, or Yankee Candle, or White Barn. I'm not afraid to say it. Those companies are not what we do. They are completely different from what we do. The company that we work with is more of a family-based community of people who have true passion for what we do. We're not all about trying to get the sales up, and we're not all about like recruiting. Like I've never had a recruiting conversation with somebody who's never used our product. It really has to do with, hey Jennifer, how you doing? It really has to do with I've never had this many friends in my entire life, ever. And right now we have a very dear friend who is recovering from some pretty major surgery, and I'm hoping that eventually he'll be able to see this broadcast, and he should know that he's been a huge driving force behind Matt and I sort of getting this all together in the past 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So what we were going to do is we were going to, take this every Wednesday for a couple weeks. Sometimes Matt will take the wheel. Sometimes I'll take the wheel. Sometimes other people will come in and we'll have like a threesome kind of a thing. And we would just basically talk about a handful of scents that are in the current catalog that we love, meaning Scentsy, and then maybe a couple of other peripheral things.
Right, yeah, I think we're going to kind of snip our way through the catalog because there are tons of fragrances, and you always kind of gravitate to what you know, right? And sometimes we're afraid to step outside of that comfort zone. So Andrea and I are going to be snipping our way through this entire catalog within the next few episodes. But tonight we wanted to start off with what our favorite fragrances, which is super hard to narrow down to just 3 when you ask a Scentsy consultant to pick 3 fragrances. But we tried, so.
Nearly impossible. So do you want to you do 3 and then I do 3, or do you want to do volley back and forth?
Let's do 1 and 1 and see if we have any duplicates.
Okay, so you go first.
Okay, so I started off with red cedar and sage.
Damn! Right
here. That is hilarious. Okay.
That makes sense.
So one thing I didn't tell each other what our fragrances were. That's hilarious. Okay, so red cedar and sage I really, really enjoy because it's a strong scent. It's very woodsy, masculine, but not cologne-y in any way to me. You don't get that artificial sort of like musk that comes with most masculine scents. So I really enjoy this one for that reason.
The notes are cedar and sage and greens, and it's like sage is the only thing in there that's sort of like that wanders slightly away from arbor. But even then, it's still like a plant. And for some reason, when I smell this, I don't think plant. Like you said, it is. It's not cologne. I think it's a little cologne-y. Well, you know what it reminds me of? Quiet Grove from 2 years ago. Quiet Grove. This, when you warm this, it changes like every 4 or 5 hours.
Yes. This is probably one of the most complex scents, I think, in the catalog.
Yeah, I was really glad that it came back because we had it last year.
Number one as well.
All right, well, there's so now it's back to you because there was the volley right there because I literally I have it up on my iPad right here, red cedar and sage.
Okay, so my second pick was actually a brand new fragrance this season, and that was grapefruit and grenadine.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just for a nostalgia thing with me. So I feel like people who eat grapefruit, right? You've got two different camps of people who put sugar on it and people who put salt on it, right? So I am one of the salt people, but my mother did sugar, and this really reminds me of her. So it just kind of puts me in a good memory kind of place.
And it lasts a long time.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites from the catalog, but I'm going to be getting to another scent that I decided was a different grapefruit scent that I wanted because I do love grapefruit. I agree with you about the grapefruit and grenadine, but I went with I'm Snow Over It, okay, which is similar to Olaf Warm Hugs, similar to Silver Bells. It's supposed to be sage, whispering pine, and cedarwood, which ironically enough, red cedar and sage is cedar, sage, and forest greens. So it's in the same vein. I'm not into the bakery stuff. Matt, you and I probably aren't good complimenting here because we both kind of like the same stuff. I'm not somebody who's going to go for the blueberry cheesecake. I'm not somebody who's going to go for the Central Park pralines, that kind of thing. I don't discriminate against those scents, but these two, red cedar and sage, and I'm Snow Over It, they just smell nothing alike, but for some reason they have the same notes. And they both have a similar thing where the red cedar sage lasts longer, but the I'm Snow Over It also does that sort of morph thing every 4 or 5 hours, and I really like that. I don't mind when something doesn't last 5 days because I change out my wax anyway. I have scent OCD, so I need to change out my wax anyway. So I like Snow Over It. I have not tried to get in the room spray. That's in my cart right now. I'm going to be getting that in my cart with the room spray because I love the room spray.
It's funny because I almost picked that one. That is another one of my favorites this season. But with bakeries, yeah, they're never going to be at the top for me. But I have noticed lately that there are certain ones that I'm gravitating to. Like Wet Pecan, for instance, that's one that I really enjoy, which I never did before. So maybe my nose is changing or something. I don't know, but I am enjoying those more lately. We ready to move on to number 3?
Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. I picked Iced Pine.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of people look for Christmas tree scents this time of year, but I don't like ones that are super mentholated, if that makes sense. Is that a word?
Well, yeah, like spearmint, right?
Yeah. So there's kind of a sweetness, which I think is, what did they say? It was peppermint in here, which I don't really pick up on the peppermint. Maybe a sweet peppermint. I don't know.
So like spearmint, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. But I just prefer this over the Very Snowy Spruce, which is a kick-ass fragrance. I like this one just a little bit better.
Okay. I have not warmed that in a really long time. I have a feeling the series is going to inspire me to warm some stuff that I haven't warmed in a long time because obviously Ice Pine came out 1.5 million years ago. And I warm everything. I've literally warmed everything, except for one thing. I'm actually going to show you one thing that I haven't warmed yet. The third one that I chose is actually a little bit out of my wheelhouse, because I rejected it. I resented it for a while because it has food in it, but it's winter berry apple tea. Now, when you smell this cold in the clamshell, you don't smell the tea, but when you warm it, you actually do smell a black tea and an apple. And I love those two scents together. I think we had some, Mandarin Moon, I think, was like an orange with black tea kind of a scent, kind of like Bengal spice. So winterberry apple tea has a little bit of that, but it's sweetened up a little bit. It's not quite as deep as something like a Bengal spice type of smell. It's supposed to be cranberry, apple, and honey. The description doesn't have tea in it, but you smell tea when you warm it. The cool thing about winterberry apple tea, and I picked up one of these before they went sold out, is that it came in a hand cream, and it also came in the soaks, right, which I didn't get. But I did manage to pick this up. I have not opened it yet. It's still sealed. I'm going to be throwing this into my purse, but it also comes in the pods. So I'm really interested in, I mean, the winterberry apple tea it comes in wax, scent circle, car bar, pod, well, not hand cream anymore, but scent soak, like you can get it in rooms, all these different things. So if you really like that scent, it's worth it to just try it in a scent circle and then, you know, move out from there. You know what I mean? But I do like it, even though it's not my normal.
No, see, I have not warmed that yet. I've only smelled it cold, and I think that might be throwing me off because it's interesting. It's definitely something different when you smell it cold. But I didn't pick up a lot of tea like you were saying. Right.
There's hardly any when you open it, and also in the description. Tea isn't even in the description, but once you warm it, it does that sort of morphing thing. That's what I like. I like when things change, you know, 4 to 7 hours after you start to warm it. So, but I'm lucky. I work from home, and I can pay very close attention to my experience as the wax is warming. So.
Right. Okay, so that was our 3 top picks out of the catalog, but we also decided we were going to pick one of our favorites from one of the current collections that are available. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and take that one?
I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and the reason why I didn't choose grapefruit and grenadine is because I went ahead and put evergreen and grapefruit into my Scentsy Club today, which is a big deal for me because I only put wax in my Scentsy Club subscriptions. I don't bother with like laundry detergent and stuff like that because I'd rather earn the hostess rewards on them. I only have discontinued scents in my Scentsy Club. Now, if you go onto the website, you have to go, in order to get evergreen and grapefruit, you have to go to the holiday collection. And then it used to come in this box. It's not available in this box anymore, but this box was super cute. And it was almost like a gift itself. It says to and from and that kind of thing. And it came with 3 scents. But the grapefruit, I mean, sorry, I keep on saying grapefruit and grenadine. The evergreen and grapefruit is described as fir needles, white cedar, and grapefruit. I guess I've got a thing for cedar. I finished this today. It is, I want to curse. Erin is here, and she said on my stream, she says, I love evergreen and grapefruit, and she did it in caps. This is a fantastic scent. It's going to be good, not necessarily all year round, but definitely from like September to March, you can get away with this. It doesn't change as it warms, but it lasts a damn long time. I put this in my warmers yesterday morning around 6 o'clock in the morning, and I can still smell it in my living room, and my warmers go 24/7.
Right. Now, I had seen Erin actually do an unboxing of that fragrance, and that's what prompted me to buy it. So it's not quite here yet, but I've been anxiously awaiting so that I can put it into my Scentsy Club subscription, along with probably some patent scents that are coming soon. So I'm excited to get my hands on those. But I went with The Nightmare Before Christmas, okay? And I mean, it's an apple cinnamon scent, right?
But it's not. It's better than that.
Right. And that's the thing. So Jim is my husband. He hates cinnamon with a passion. Like if they've got the brooms out in the grocery store, he won't even go in. For whatever reason, like, and I've noticed, you can actually still smell the apple in this. Usually cinnamon is so overpowering. Yep. But while this is warming, you do get the cinnamon, but you can still smell that apple. And he lets me warm this in the house. So that made it a top contender for me.
It's a fantastic scent. I'm so glad that it's still available for people. You can get a 6-pack of it. You can get 1 or 2. You can put it into your Scentsy Club. I wish it came in a body lotion. I wish it came in room spray. It is the perfect balance of apple and cinnamon. Perfect. You don't smell anything like more than the other. That's my issue with cinnamon scents. Like the cinnamon roasted pear, was that in this one or the no, that was in the Harvest collection.
Yeah.
I'm not here to trash scents, but I gave it away. I couldn't, and that's the beauty of, you know, Scentsy, is that there's a scent for everybody.
People who want cinnamon everything, like give them all of the cinnamon, and we got that for sure.
I had a couple of people who ordered the Jelly Belly collection specifically for the sizzling cinnamon, and I can't warm that wax. I keep on putting it up to my face, and I'm like, this is great for other people. It's not good for me. I can't.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let me scroll through and see if I've got any questions or anything on my comments. Let's see.
Well, in the meantime, I will let you know that I had a couple of questions in my VIP group. I posted about the fact that I was warming cranberry and tinsel, and I showed a picture of my brick from last year, and I had like 5 people comment on that picture in my VIP group and say, how come I can't get that? Where is that? And all I can do is apologize. If you can find it through a secondhand person or whatever, you can get it. Listen, the next month's scent of the month is very similar. I don't have the description in front of me, but next month's scent of the month, I have a feeling is going to smell very similar to this. Maybe I'll put a thing in the comments of this video or something, but just hang tight, because I have a feeling that that's going to be a good dupe for this. I'm on the fence about the bricks. I love bricks, but a lot of times I hold on to them for more than one season because it's too much for me. I don't want to go nose blind. But as you can see, I cut my bricks into pieces, and holy hot damn, all I have to do is open this bitch up, and it's like the whole room smells fantastic. But cranberry and tinsel is also available in the holiday collection right now in hand soap. So if you really love cranberry and tinsel, you can go ahead and at least make your hands smell good.
I'm trying to think, did that one come out in that holiday bundle we had like 2 years back in the
Yep, and it was with Blue Christmas and Wassail Wonderland and eggnog. Oh, the eggnog, I can't do the eggnog, but the Wassail Wonderland was fantastic. Blue Christmas is actually in my Scentsy Club, and I have 2 bricks of it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Blue Christmas is good. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions that came through prior to the live. Daryl wanted to know some recommendations on some good scents to mix this season.
Okay, well, that's tough for me because I've been warming through older stuff.
Yeah.
I have recently started, I wanted to get rid of my tomato vine. Okay. So I was actually mixing that with, and people are gonna watch this video and throw up. I was mixing tomato vine with midnight fig, and they were like, "Are you crazy? Are you? Is it just?" Yes, I like that earthy soil green stuff. I like that, and it smelled at a time of year where it's too much with the lemon and the super florals, but it's not quite, you know, pine and Christmas tree. It's sort of like in between. So I've been doing sort of like farmer's market, Christmas cactus together. Farmer's market and Christmas cactus together are fantastic. But again, we haven't even mentioned a bakery scent in here. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm about to.
Okay.
So a mix I was doing last catalog season, I know that doesn't help anybody, was Be My Honey with apple butter frosting.
Wow.
Right?
That's sweet.
Okay, so
woo, sweet.
The Be My Honey was interesting because it kind of smelled like honeycomb, but not like honey. If that makes sense. And the apple butter frosting just gave it that like honey sweetness that I think it needed to remind you of honey, you know. But I warmed that probably for a good week and it didn't go away. It wouldn't go away.
It wouldn't go away, right?
Yeah. But that was good. Now, as for this catalog season, trying to think. I mean, weathered leather is great for a very specific type of person, but I think mixing some sort of vanilla note in there with it.
Yes, I have mixed weathered leather with vanilla bean buttercream, but I had to do 2 to 1. It had to be 2 vanilla bean buttercream to 1 weathered leather, and it added a depth to it. I mean, sometimes I feel a little bit, and I shouldn't feel this way. Sometimes I feel trite talking about the classic scents because it's like, oh yeah, Luna, oh yeah, Clothesline, you know. But have you ever mixed Clothesline with Sugar Cookie?
Yeah. That's why they're classic scents.
I know, but Clothesline and Sugar Cookie together are really interesting. Yeah. Take those 2 bars and put them up to your face at some point. You have to do it now.
Because Clothesline is too much for me.
It's so strong.
Yeah.
It's so strong. But a lot of times if you do 2 to 1, like I do, I'll do 2 cubes of sugar and 1 cube of Poppy Fields. Now, technically Poppy Fields is available. It's a rose scent. And sugar is technically not available right now. I mean, I have backups of it like crazy. But if you take something, there you go. I just finished my brick the other day. Super sugar with super floral really goes good together because it's almost like what's that Bath and Body Works candle? Tea petal, tea rose petal cake or something like that. Basically, it's a cake scent with rose.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Aaron wanted to know light scents that you would recommend for an office environment or people who are sensitive to fragrance. I will tell you right now, not Harbor's Edge, because I threw a woman in my office into an asthma attack with it this week.
Wow. You know what? When I warm Harbor's Edge, I don't smell a thing, and I've sold a ton of that wax.
Oh, it's great. I love that fragrance.
I don't smell it.
Really? Well, I have 3 warmers in my office, and I had 3 cubes in each warmer, so maybe it was, you know, a bit.
That sounds like a lot.
I don't know. I just like to be punched in the face.
Whenever somebody asks me about light scents, I either say half a cube of Luna or a full cube of Sunkissed Citrus, because I feel like those 2 are so classic, so non-invasive, but Luna can be a lot for some people. I don't smell Luna all that much. Hey, Taikika, how are you doing? I don't smell Luna all so much because I'm a little nose blind to it. And for some reason, Sunkissed Citrus, I don't smell it very strong at all. And then if somebody wanted something light that was bakery, I would definitely say Sugar Cookie because that's a very light scent to me.
Yeah. See, and I don't know light. Like, I just don't do light.
Right.
I think Eskimo Kiss is kind of light.
Eskimo Kiss is light. Lavender Cotton is light. Cozy Cardigan is light to me. I like them, but I like it a little bit stronger. I had somebody ask me, looking for a clean and crisp, but listen to this obstacle course. Looking for a clean and crisp, but not too sweet fall scent that is something like hazelnut. And I had to like think about it, and I'm like, damn, I can't think of a hazelnut scent that's crisp. Because hazelnut is creamy. I mean, they can like make milk out of hazelnuts, you know?
What about breakfast blend with first day of fall?
That would be heavy. First day of fall is not crisp to me whatsoever. That's very creamy to me because of the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Well, what I told her was cedar cider or cider mill because she's looking for crisp and she's looking for something that's like nutty. Cedar cider, she's probably going to do better with it. But the only thing that we have that actually has hazelnut right now is hazelnut frosting, which is in this thing, which I can't. It's too strong. It's too strong. And Hug in a Mug. But Hug in a Mug is creamy, and creamy and crisp are kind of like opposite, you know? So.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I liked about the first day of fall, okay, was that it, fall fragrances come out, it's pumpkin and cinnamon just like punching you in the face normally. And I thought this was kind of subdued and just a step in that direction, which I appreciated because it's Florida. It's 92 degrees here. Right. Like, I'm not ready for all So, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking. What else did I get? Christine wanted to know if either of us melt any other brand of wax, and if so, what kind?
I don't. I made the decision 5 years ago that if I was going in, I was going in head first. Now, I shouldn't say 5 years ago, because I joined in 2014 and then I went inactive a couple of times. In that time frame, in those 2 years that I kept on going inactive and I wasn't really working a business, I was trying to use the stuff at the grocery store, the Glade and the Febreze that comes in the cubes. The wax is so hard. And I'm not trying to bust anybody else's bubble, but it really smelled like a crayon if it smelled like anything at all, because those waxes are designed to be melted at, I think, a higher melting point. It's almost like they're designed to be using the tea light candle things, or like a 15 or 20 watt hot plate warmer, which Scentsy doesn't make because we want to be able to keep ours on 24/7. I don't burn candles because I have cats. This whole reason why I got into Scentsy is because I have cats and I don't want to burn candles in my house. So the only thing that I could say is that I do use like Clorox wipes occasionally, but that's the closest.
Yeah. We'll see. And for me, there's other waxes that I use, but it's only because I already have them here in this house. So when I left Scentsy the first time around, I tried and dabbled in other companies and, you know, built up some stock to try it out, you know. And now I've got tons of Scentsy wax, but I'm like, why am I going to use that when I've got all this other stuff that I need to get through?
Right.
You know, and some of it is decent out there, but I do notice that it warms a lot hotter, okay, which means that you are going to go through it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So our scents will last for a couple days, generally, depending on the fragrance load and everything. But I've got some that the scent's amazing, but then 2-3 hours, that's all you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are planning a night at home for these kind of scents, even with Scentsy or anything, if you have these short acting, you know, fragrances, if you're planning a night at home and you're like, okay, we're going to binge watch, you know, 4 episodes of The Office or something like that and drink a bottle of wine, that's great. Use the stuff that's going to, you know, burn off quickly. And there's a place for that. I understand that. But for me, because I work from home and because it's like my warmers are on 24/7, I don't usually gravitate towards the stuff that's fast acting. You know what I mean? I want to go for, you know, the evergreen and grapefruit, the one that's going to last 4 or 5 days. So
well, once I get through it, I won't be purchasing anything else because, I mean, there's so many scents, and to think that I have not warmed through everything in the catalog, nor have I made every combination in the catalog. Like, why would I ever even need to?
Right.
Is kind of the mindset that I'm in right now. But I enjoy kind of playing with that and seeing what I can make, you know.
Yeah. All right, we've been 28 minutes. That flew by like crazy. I've got a whole list of questions on my phone here on my Google Docs. I guess we could save them for next week or something like that. I would love for everybody who tuned in, even if you just tuned in for a couple of minutes, I guess if you're hearing this, if you could give us some feedback below as to how you would want us to do it, maybe either differently or a little bit more to your liking for next week, because we're planning on doing this once a week for Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. This is a little bit of a stretch for me because I'm usually asleep for 2 hours by now. But I would love feedback from any of you. What scents do you recommend winter wedding scents? I would say Eskimo Kiss, I'm Snow Over It, Silver Bells, and Olaf Warm Hugs. All 4 of those are available right now. All 4 of those are Glacial Ice from last year was fantastic. That didn't come back this year, but those are the 4 scents that I would recommend.
All right, but yeah, we definitely want your feedback to know how we should continue. Should we keep this format? You know, questions for next week, all that fun stuff. Drop them below. And I think we're gonna wrap this on up this week, guys.
This was fun. I'm looking forward to next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.